Oh man, I made it. I made it. I did it. And I did it. I unmuted my mic. I think my microphone is at the correct volume. I'm a little late, but you guys have to forgive me. I had to wash my floors. It's just how it is. Um, I had to wash my floors, and for the first time in 15 years, my assistant's going to get a new phone today, so that's going to take another, 90 minutes. That's because they have us online and on the phone on hold for 90 minutes at a whack. Hey, good morning, Hans. How you doing? How you doing? Everybody, share the feed if you can, if you want to. It is appreciated. I got me one rolled up. I'm ready. There's some big shit happening today in the music news. I tell you all the time, man. Like this is an everyday thing. The music industry is an everyday thing, so we're gonna hop right into it today because a lot is going on. Thank you for everybody hanging out last night at the Honeycomb Hideout. Welcome to my live stream. We call this William versus the world. What does that mean? It doesn't really mean I'm against everybody. It just means that we're gonna, look at the global topics in technology, music industry, advertising, social media, and we're going to talk about it together at a global level. We're going to talk about it. We're going to examine it. We're going to unpack it right here on the live stream and chat together. I've not even finished my coffee yet. So I've not finished my coffee, and I've just now ignited this awesome joint. I'm thinking at some point, you see all these bands and artists going into the coffee business, and some of them do it right. I feel like Sepsis needs a coffee brand. Or an energy drink brand. I feel like Melissa could make an energy drink. Hey, good morning, Chad. How's it going? A lot on Spotify today, guys. There's a lot. So, if you're not ready for a Spotify day, I don't know what else you're ready for. Spotify followers are dropping overnight for artists. Here's a possible culprit. You guys might be able to relate to some of this. Watching your artist following grow on Spotify can be one of the most rewarding aspects of growing your online music presence, but it's also one of the most frustrating. If your Spotify follower count dropped overnight, read on for potential reasons it happened. I don't know. Let's take a look. I'm gonna look at ours now. Fucking A. Nah, we got this. We got the same stuff going on. Oh, we got more. Hold on, I gotta take a screenshot of that. I'll tell you, we are one of the worst streaming rock and roll bands online. But I don't give a fuck. Fuck Spotify. But I do think it's nice when poorly streaming bands do well. So let me just share this with my team real quick. This is a new first for us. We never get like a lot of monthly listeners or anything, but we just reached over 500. And to be real with you guys, like, that's all due to Rockfest. Shout out to Rockfest, man. Wow. Honestly, Rockfest and the Rockfest family in Wisconsin, thank you so much for adding us to y'all playlists. We've gotten so many fans. Hundreds, maybe 1,000 fans. Just by joining Rockfest, man. It's true. Like, we've got maybe 1,000 more fans just from joining Rockfest. That's incredible. The hospitality and the positive vibes have just been absolutely, like, over the top, man. So thank you, Rockfest. We haven't even got there yet. But Gio was telling me Wisconsin don't play around. He was telling me, man, like Wisconsin they hold their team down, they hold their family down, they hold their friends down. So I'm not even surprised. I'm not even surprised. Shout out to Wisconsin and all the rock and roll fans in Wisconsin. You guys are no joke. New England, you better start taking notes. For real. What the hell was I just doing? Oh, yeah, I was going to share that with the team. Hold on. Sorry. I'm doing double. I'm doing double here. I got the band with me. So we have a band chat. Sometimes in the morning, you want to have some like good motivation for the day. You got to share some of the positive news. So that's what I'm doing. And I'll leave a little message here with the band, and it'll say, whoops. This is really rare and amazing work for a little independent band. Good job on the organic attendance. As much as you know, I like to talk shit about Spotify. Make sure you guys share a few of our Spotify links in your free and spare time. Yeah. Join new groups, update pages, make new friends. Yeah, there you go. That's the band message for the day. It might not seem like a big deal, but we never have that many monthly people. Good news on the Swarmy Fest 3 front. All of those who plan on going to Swarmy Fest 3, just so you know, you are safe to make your reservations. People are already making hotel reservations and plane reservations. I cannot wait for this year's Swarmy Fest. It will be insane. It will be at Club Jewel. It will be in Manchester. And we are already looking for co-headliners already. I'm so excited. Swarmy Fest 3. Are you excited, Melissa? She's excited. Spotify regularly monitors its service for bot followers, artificial streams, and other forms of fakery that can impact legitimate artists. Bot followers are the easiest to detect because they don't follow normal music listening patterns. Services that offer to increase your Spotify following for a fee are often selling bot followers, which will then be purged once Spotify detects the artificial activity. By making this thing a competition, by making streaming an algorithmic competition, you've only encouraged people to cheat. That's all I'll say to that. As an artist, you should never spend money on any services that promises to increase your Spotify following. Side note, same could be said, you guys, for iTunes. Side note, same could be said, you guys, for social media. Side note, same could be said for all tiers and layers of industry. I know we live in a time where it's more popular than ever, or at least it has been, to fake it until you make it. But as technology tightens, our youngest audiences are getting smarter. People know when artists and creators are disingenuous. People are figuring out authentic and genuine streamers and writers and creators from role players. As they recommend here, you should never spend money on any service that promotes to increase your Spotify following, or your Facebook following, or your YouTube following, because it's an act of self-destruction. So if you're botting, if you're inflating your numbers now, and I know who you are because I watch your pages and I watch your Spotify's, I watch your feed. If you're in a band, if you're a creator, if you're a content creator, a streamer, or an influencer, and you have music-based online streams, you go live, you do reels, I'm watching you. Sepsis is watching you, and we watch your monthly listeners. We watch your plays. We watch your comments. If you're a band and you think you're invisible, no, you're not. We're watching you. Like, if you're a band out there and you're wondering, wow, I wonder if Sepsis, I wonder if they study me. Yes, we do. If you're a huge band out there and you're like, I wonder if that little band studies my shit. Yes, we do. Yeah, we study all of you. I don't care what genre you are. I don't care what kind of metal you are, what subgenre. I don't care if you're faking it to making it or you're completely organic. If you are online, if you are visible, we are studying you. So if you're in a band out there, independent, or you're a fucking you're independent band, or you're a super celebrity, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I wonder if that band Sepsis studies me. Yep, we study you too. We study everybody. And shame on you if you don't. What up, yo? Hey, do you need to use the phone?
It could work first and then I can use it.
I mean, now's the best. Like, now, this would be the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So Lexi's got her new. She got her new phone. Can I make you a Well, we can have the conversation right here online. It's fine. Put your things away and then come have a seat. We'll figure this out together. I'm gonna continue reading. These 1,000 followers will be added. Oh, as an artist, you should never spend money on any service that promises to increase your Spotify following. So I hope you guys know that. Same could be said. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok are all valid ways to increase your following, but paying for a service that promises a certain amount of followers for a certain amount of money, for example, 1,000 followers for $10, is a great way to waste money. I'm going to go a little further and say anybody that offers you success online, anybody that promises success like that's a red flag anyways. You know, if somebody says, you know, give me $20 and you will be successful, I have a very hard time digesting that. So here's my suggestion for our friend Lexi here, who's sitting beside me. Lexi, I think that you should call Straight Talk first and get to the root of the problem of why you're not receiving text messages and phone calls, because you pay your phone bill every month. So that shouldn't be. So let's have them square that issue away first. And then let's confirm that we can actually send you a text message and make phone calls on your phone that you pay for. And because this is why. Because after, I don't think we have to contact the other company. I think you just make the order, you'll receive the text messages, and you'll be able to make the confirmation. Therefore, skipping and bypassing calling that really nice man that we spent 40 minutes with on the phone earlier.
Okay.
Does that, you know what I mean? So if you want, here's my phone.
Okay.
Do you know how to use my phone?
I don't know how to get into it. You're gonna have to.
It's AI.
Yeah. It's the only thing I don't know how to do.
It's artificial intelligence. Yeah, I've got artificial Kanye West, and I have artificial basically I have every meme style musician as my AI personality. So I got Marilyn Manson on here. I've got Charlie Manson, R. Kelly. I've got all the. Did you just get a phone call?
Because I'm in Wi-Fi.
Oh.
And it's not from my actual
Okay.
phone. It's from my other thing.
Woo.
So I didn't get a phone call.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's what we do. We're going to get to the phone. Here it is.
We're gonna
Enjoy. Yeah, enjoy it. If you, yeah, okay. I'll see you in a while. That was awesome. Spotify regularly engages in bot purges of followers to keep artists' numbers genuine. One of the ways Spotify can identify these bot followers is that they don't actually interact with any of your music in any organic way. I think that's important to know. Spotify has very specific mechanisms in place to detect suspicious or fraudulent streaming activity. Any artist or playlist suspected in engaging in buying followers or boosting streams artificially may have their royalties withheld from them. I want to make a note here that this is also a tactic that digital service providers, they use this tactic and weaponize this tactic when they want to remove an artist's catalog to punish them. They have been known to also remove or wipe an artist's catalog in punishment if you don't cooperate with them. There's been many stories and people come forward speaking out on DSPs as well as distributors like TuneCore and DistroKid actually pulling people's music down and blaming, account hacking or blaming artists for botting. But here's the truth. The truth is anyone can bot anyone. Like you could spend $10,000 on Sepsis today and just bot a bunch of our music, and Spotify might kick us off the network, even though we had nothing to do with it. So like if you were in a band and you made some people grumpy, potentially they could go out and spend a couple $100, a couple $1,000 on destroying your catalog by hiring bot companies to play your music, and there would be no way to know who's doing it. I mean, so that's the issue right there. The fact that the idea that DSPs and distributors like Spotify, iTunes, and DistroKid, any of these people can take your music down for any and no reason at all. And you may or may not actually have anything to do with the fraudulent activity. So if TuneCore, CD Baby, or DistroKid feel like punishing somebody, say if an artist was speaking out, or say if there were artists that were not in compliance with a suspected behavior that one of these DSPs or distributors expects, they can pull your music down. They can destroy your catalog for any and no reason at all. Spotify is definitely doing a cleanup, one artist told Digital Music News about the action. A few months ago, I had a track that was clearly added to a botted playlist without my knowledge and ended up getting something like 1,000 plays on the track in a day and 100 followers, according to my artist stats. This is an artist that is quoted in saying this. I figured this was fake, and as my suspicion confirmed, I noticed those 100 followers were removed when I looked at my artist data today. You feel what I'm saying, you guys? That's just like I was talking about. What to do if your music is added to a suspected bot playlist. If you've noticed that your music has been added to a playlist that you suspect of botting artificial streams, there's not much you can do. Spotify routinely conducts sweeps of free accounts to determine whether or not they're legitimate users. Like the artist who spoke to us, you may find yourself suddenly down several hundred followers if your music was the target of botting playlists. But like they say here, if you find your music might be under attack and you are a victim of being added to artificial playlists and botting, there's nothing you can do. In the days of AI, all the laws we've written, all the technology, all the gadgets and the computers and the software, and right here, as it states, if you notice that your music has been added to a fake playlist where there's artificial botting streams, if you're on Spotify, there's nothing you can do. There you have it. What the fuck? Like, that's not even, like, what type of news is that? Y'all should hit up Paradise is Canceled. We may. We're trying to, this year, we're trying to do some different stuff with Swarmy Fest. You know, each year we try to, there's a couple things we try to do. Make it bigger. The other thing that's important is that we're giving new bands a shot. You know what I mean? Not to say that there won't be bands returning this year or next year or whatever, but first and foremost, the Swarmy Fest brand, the point of us doing that is to continue to put fresh bands on the stage, is to continue to introduce our fans and our audience, people like Hans. We want to introduce Hans to new bands. You know, Swarmy Fest is for fans of Sepsis and fans of local music too. But, you know, fans of Sepsis, for Swarmies, they come and hang out with us every year. You know, our friends, our family, people that are in the Swarm, people that fuck with Sepsis, we throw this party every year. It's a Sepsis party, no question. It's a time for us to party with our friends and our Sepsis staff and our Sepsis family from all over the country. It's that one time a year that we get together as fans, staff, the band, and everybody involved with Sepsis. We get involved and we have a party. And in that party, the goal of that party is to showcase and introduce people to new bands and introduce people to the Swarm, you know? So the tradition of the show is to bring bands into Manchester, our hometown. Is to bring bands that aren't necessarily from the scene into the scene. It's our one time each year as a band to share our stage, to share our town, to share what we do with bands that we've never had before. So the tradition is to bring people in and add value to the community that way. Think if all bands did stuff like that. Think if all bands in their hometowns brought bands from outside of their hometowns into their hometown and then shared their fans with the bands and their neighbors. That's what we're doing. So as much as we love bands that have been to Swarmy Fest before, we try our hardest not to book them. We try our hardest not to book bands at Swarmy Fest over and over again, because the whole point that, I mean, let me put it to you this way. What's the problem with the radio? It's the same old artists over and over and over and over and over again. You know who just hit us up is After the Winter. You guys know I love After the Winter. They were like, oh man, we'd love to play Swarmy Fest. They may or may not. I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? We have to look at the whole list. But come on, you guys know I love that band. You know? Come on, tell me I didn't, you know, we've had bands. You guys already know my favorite bands, you know? I love Carpathia. I'll play a million shows with them. But I would not bring them back to Swarmy Fest, at least right now, because they had a great show last year and they played it. Now it's time to give someone else a shot. See, that's the problem with the world. That's the problem with radio. That's the problem with farming. That's the problem with iPhone, is that we only have iPhone and Samsung. There's only two choices. We got Slipknot and fucking Metallica. There's only, you guys got to get out of this whole thing where consumerism, where you guys are happy and satisfied with one station, with one toothpaste, with two leading brands. Megadeth and Metallica, Spirit Box and Sleep Token. You guys got to get out of that shit. The problem with radio is that there's not enough diversity. There's not enough variety. We are on planet Earth. Planet Earth is a story of diversity, biodiversity, variety, shapes, colors, sizes, geometry, math, frequencies. Our reality is a reality of diversity. So why should the music industry be anything different? We have this come one, come all business model where the biggest losers and uneducated amateurs can enter the professional music business and be cataloged next to artists like Killswitch Engage and R. Kelly. And I digress. That is the problem with radio, is that you have this, some of these catalogs that have this come one, come all kind of package and advertisement, like Spotify and Pandora. Anyone that makes any kind of noise for over 25 seconds can be on Pandora. Anyone can sit in the corner and record poorly playing kazoo, and you can upload your kazoo tracks to Spotify. That's an issue. However, on the other side of the coin, on the other side of the spectrum, no one can get on radio. Only a handful of artists in the world can get paid for it and make a living for making music, while the greatest majority starves and can't make a living playing music. So this is the spectrum. So that is the issue with having my favorite bands come and play Swarmy Fest every year, is that that's the problem with the radio, is they have their favorite bands play every day. That's the problem with these festivals. They have the same fucking bands every single time. That's the problem with all you tribal goofy people out there. That is the problem. Is that, and that is definitely a tradition that Sepsis is going to break. We're going to break the tradition of having the same old bands play our shows. So when you come and see a Sepsis show, part of our brand is doing new things. Part of our brand is taking risks. Part of our brand is taking on challenges, because that is what we have taken on as a task. That is our brand. That is a feature of who we are. That is a feature of our birthright, of our originality, of our sonic fingerprint. You feel me? So yeah, I would love to have some of the returning bands on Swarmy Fest. After Swarmy Fest grows, maybe when we get out of the building. But there's 2 stages. I think last year we had a lot of bands last year. We got it done. And I tell you, it's really difficult trying to headline a show like that with hundreds and hundreds of people in the building, and you're organizing it at the same time, because you can't make everybody happy. You can't book all of your friends. Seps has been in the music industry for the greater portion, of 13 years. So, we've made a lot of friends, and we can't book everybody for every show. So I know that was really winded, but I for sure, I wanted to confirm, I wanted to double down on understanding the definition and the reason of why we do Swarmy Fest and what we set out to achieve. What we set out to do with Swarmy Fest is what other bands refuse to do, and that is share their fan base. The goal of Swarmy Fest is to put as many fans of Sepsis in one room. The goal of Swarmy Fest is to draw a crowd. And then for us to draw a crowd and then help re-energize, do our part, our contribution, and help reshaping the value and quality of the scene by incorporating diversity and variety, because we feel that reflects an honest spectrum of art, culture, and music, and that is our message in the band. We don't feel that music is just an economy. And sure, that's okay. We could do that too. Let's do that too. We could add that on. That could be another fractal branch of your priorities. I don't care. That's to each their own. But music is not man-made, okay? Popularity is man-made. Gadgets and gizmos and even the charts are man-made. People are always asking me if numbers lie, and they do, because numbers and symbols are also man-made. You guys got to remember that the number 4 is only a symbol. It's an image, and the number 4 is a manufactured image that represents units. So 4 doesn't really mean anything as an image on its own. A swastika, okay, it's a powerful image, right? The Holy Cross, it's a powerful image. The Sepsis star, So that's the thing. It's just that in Western society we have been duped, and we've all been convinced that music is a combat sport in a popularity contest, and we're all in this career climb flea market where we all buy products and gizmos and gadgets to fake it. So that's where we're at. I forgot what we were talking about, man. I was talking about Swarmy Fest. That's the reason why. So I hope it doesn't disappoint anybody, but that's probably why you won't see the same bands at Swarmy Fest. I'm sorry. Because the whole point and the main feature of Swarmy Fest is to encourage, inspire discovery, man. It's to encourage people to get out the house and stop doing the same shit. Oh, what's up, Christina? How's it going? Trisha, how's it going? I didn't see y'all there. Here, I'm going to play some music for y'all. All right, guys. If you have at least $100 in your marketing budget, you can run a Spotify showcase campaign. Didn't that last article just say if you were paying these developers to make you look cool, that was a form of cheating and dishonesty? And here we go. If you have $100, but not anything less, if you have $100, please read what is on your screen. If you have $100 in your marketing budget, which most people don't because they're living check to check, they need dog food, baby food, Pampers, you can run a Spotify showcase campaign. Now, on the radio, if this was terrestrial, college, commercial radio, there's a law. Payola is illegal. It is illegal to pay companies to play your music. Pay to play is illegal, and you can look it up. We've done a lot of programs already on it, but we know people don't really care so much about things being illegal. I'm just letting you know. All right, so what is Spotify Showcase? Spotify Showcase is a promoted banner for your release. It's an image. It appears at the top of the Spotify app's homepage for some listeners. Spotify feeds the promoted release to listeners. The algorithm thinks will listen to and enjoy it. So it's an image. They make you a cute, graphic image, and they put your new release on this dashboard for some listeners. Spotify feeds the promoted release. They show people this image to the listeners that the algorithm, whatever the algorithm thinks, will listen to and enjoy it. So the algorithm is going to study your release. It's going to showcase this image and banner for a chance for you to access more of Spotify's subscriber base. So you can access their loyal subscriber base. So basically, it's a targeted ad that you can run directly on Spotify or Facebook or Instagram or who gives a shit? Because these music apps want to be social media apps. The social media apps, they want to be e-commerce apps or home shopping network apps. The video game apps, they want to be cable TV apps. The video apps are now becoming image portfolio apps. The image portfolio apps are now becoming networking and social media marketing apps. What the fuck is going on here? But at least we know one thing is for sure, that Spotify is trying its hardest to become more like a social app. And we also know that UMG just renewed their contracts with them, and Universal Music has pulled all of its assets from places like TikTok, facing a government ban and reselling of TikTok to loosen its grip from ByteDance. This is all happening now. I would watch probably the last 8 episodes of this live stream to get caught up with what's really happening in the music industry, so you have a better idea. That's why we created this program, because we can't fit the music industry into a 20-second reel. You know what I mean? But basically, it's a targeted ad that you could run directly on Spotify. But you could run these ads anywhere else, too. It's just running ads, buying and selling and advertising and buying ad space and ad revenue. And you can let Spotify use the default audience, which is listeners who are most likely to stream your release after seeing your campaign. Like, I thought the whole reason for joining these fucking apps to begin with is so we can be seen. Isn't that what everybody says? Isn't that the big argument that all the poorest, weakest loser musicians that don't get paid from streaming sites, don't they all make the argument that, hey man, fucking Will, obviously, dude, we're not going to get paid for making music. Bro, it's not about making music. You got to go on Spotify, bro, because it's to be seen. Sure, all the artists, all the biggest losers playing the rock and roll music lottery casino, all these guys keep going in, dumping quarters and Chuck E. Cheese tokens into the slot machine. And I'm looking at them waste a fortune. And I'm saying, the money that you're spending in the casino, the money that you're using on TuneCore and CD Baby and DistroKid, you do realize the money that you're paying your distributors and DSPs, the amount of money that you're paying in these ads, you're actually paying them money to take money from you. You've subscribed and you're paying these distributors money to subscribe to a service that steals money from you. Oh, Will, it's not about the money. Of course not, Will. Because we've all been dummied down already to the point, and we've all accepted that independent music sucks, right? Even though it's $1 billion business, all of the industries, all of the biggest winners, all of the limited successful people at the top have convinced you guys that there's no money in independent music, that independent music sucks, that independent music doesn't have value, that anywhere from fart noises and pink noise and audiobooks in a come one, come all environment, you guys were duped. By having a come one, come all environment, they're able to measure the absolute lowest of the low, the absolute lowest of the low. They're able to see how low, how sick humanity will go to be popular, to be famous, with the goal to be seen and to be exposed. That's why they all speak the same language in terms of independence. And that's why every few years, Christina knows, that's why every few years, look at the word independent and how the music industry has rebranded it for every gadget, for every code, for every crook, and for every criminal that wants an ignition key or reason to get involved in the music industry. And that's why it's so hard to determine the bad actors. The people hear me talking about the music industry, it's like anybody else. None of us are trustworthy enough. Everybody's scared to death to inherit information. We don't know what's real. We don't know what we can examine. That's why we have this show now. It's hard to tell because we know that most people aren't independent by choice. So we don't know if somebody's really advertising being independent or if it's just another product. If it's just another bad actor in a costume preaching independence to get to our pockets. Being an independent musician for as long as I have, I've accumulated enough to measure and figure out that the independent music industry, separate than the music industry that everyone thinks they're trying to get into, the independent music industry is a multi-million and billion-dollar business on its own. The thing that's fucked up is the largest companies, bad actors, celebrities, and corporations have advertised and convinced society and civilians and the weakest, laziest musicians into believing that there's no money, that there's no value in independent music. And they go, why is if it makes money, why is it segregated? Why is it kept separate? If there's so much money in independent artists in music, why is it kept so separately in terms of conversationalists? And that is because they don't want nobody to find out. If consumers and fans of music found out that the $100 that they use to subscribe to companies like Spotify were not going to the artist that they support, if consumers just understood that you see a band like Vox and Stitch, or you see a band like Sepsis, or Parts Per Million, or Dead by Wednesday, and you go, hey, I was never a subscriber on YouTube, or Pandora, or iTunes, or Spotify. I would never be a subscriber to Spotify if it wasn't for independent music. That's not an example. I'm being serious. Me, myself, I would never log on that app if it wasn't for independent music. So I know, just based on my own experience, that many other artists, aspiring artists, fans of independent music, and fans of bands like Sepsis literally subscribe. The reason why they're subscribing to the technology is because they advertised you would be able to discover new things. But when you get there, that's not the case. But that's what I'm showing you. That's why it's kept separately, because nobody wants to talk about it. There are not a lot of bands. There are not a lot of artists. There are very few content creators. I can give you a list after this. If you'd like, please inbox me. I'm really easy to talk to. There are not a lot of creators. There are not a lot of guitar players who will go on the record publicly and admit that the music industry is like the Easter Bunny. Once you grow up and get a little older, we all kind of have to admit that it's fake. And the reason why there are not a lot of guys like me admitting that, because it's embarrassing to tell everybody that you've been getting ripped off. It's embarrassing. It's hurtful. It's depressing to tell your friends and family that you've invested your entire life into college and you never got the job. You invested your entire life to be a culinary artist and you can't make a grilled cheese. This shit is embarrassing. That you went to school to get your business account and you work at Dairy Queen. That wasn't your plan. I understand that. There are a very rare amount of people like me. There is no one like me today that will go online every single day, every week for over 10 years and tell you the truth about the music industry. Because nobody wants to admit the crime that is happening in the music industry. The sexual assaults, the stealing, the drugs, the crime. And nobody wants to go on and talk about the crime in the music industry because it's embarrassing to be a victim and everybody's egos come first in this industry. I'm telling you, and I'm the only one that comes online to talk about what happens behind the scenes in the music industry, is because I've been to prison and everybody in the music industry is too afraid to talk about what really happens in the music industry, local, regional, and or otherwise. There is no one online like me at all that talks about the music industry as boldly and fearlessly as I do, because I'm not afraid of being kicked out of the music industry. I'm not afraid to confront or be blacklisted. I'm not afraid to be rejected from the music industry. I'm not afraid to get rejected by metal bands that are too metal for me, that are too metal for education, that are too heavy metal for the truth. I'm not so heavy metal. I'm not so me. I'm not so William. I'm not so nothing, where all of this stuff takes priority over the truth in my life. That's something you're going to have to decide on your own. You can let Spotify use the default audience, which is listeners who are most likely to stream your release after seeing your campaign. Or you can choose your specified audience. Spotify showcase real-world results. This ought to be interesting. According to Spotify, people who see a showcase are, on average, 6 times more likely to stream the release you're promoting. But that stat feels a little too esoteric. Esoteric means like off or like odd or unusual, I believe. Somebody can check me on that. Indie artist Andrew Southworth ran 3 $100 showcase campaigns. That means he gave Spotify $300 so people would play his fucking music. Like, that's where we're at. It's an arcade. That's a slot machine. That's a video game. That's not music. That's not people learning about your music and liking you. Hold on, I gotta see what y'all saying. What the fuck is that? Bro, what the fuck is that madness? I'm gonna have to get a moderator in here. Are you seeing that bullshit? Look at the chat. Glasses, purple, yellow, diamond. Nice. I don't know what all that spam is. Are you guys still here? Put a 1 in the chat if you're still here. Yo, I gotta get some moderators in here. I've been meaning to do it every day, but I just haven't done it. Anyways, I'll go back now. I want to look at the results from the album campaign, which he used for Spotify's default targeting. So the campaign reached almost 10,000. Out of 10,000 people it reached, it got almost 300 clicks. Converted listeners from those clicks were 173. Active streams per listener and 1 playlist ad. That's all he got out of that. $300, and he was added to 1 playlist. Somebody saved his song, and then his songs were saved almost 250 times. Let's look at a $100 showcase campaign from 2 indie artists, Thomas Austin and John Henry. They ran a showcase for their single with Spotify default US targeting. Here's the results. They reached almost 6,000 people, 300 clicks, 180 converted listeners, active streams 1.8, and playlist ads, he got 17 ads. In addition to these numbers, their showcase got 9 listeners from their active audience to stream the song for the first time, 14 listeners to rejoin their active audience, and 157 listeners to join their active audience for the first time. This guy got 53 playlist ads. It kind of looks a little bit like the first guy. Almost reached 10,000. In addition to these numbers, my showcase got 9 listeners from my active audience to stream the album for the first time. My active audience. Wow, so it actually it encouraged his active listeners already, so it targeted people he already had, apparently. 5 listeners to rejoin my active audience, and 187 listeners to join my active audience for the first time. Spotify also tells me what else my converted listeners did after interacting with my showcase. It looks like 10 of my converted listeners also streamed my other releases with an average of 2.1 streams per listen. So, the most important metrics to focus on here are playlist ads and saves. That's what I thought too. This tells you that the song resonated with the listener so much that they added it to their liked song and their personal playlists. This is fucking terrible. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know about you, but I'm very picky about my personal playlists. Me too. I am too. They each have a different vibe, so I can play a playlist based on how I feel or want to feel. So if you get added to my playlist, I'm going to hear your song a bunch of times, and I'm more likely to become your lifelong fan. That's what the guy said there. Saves and playlists ads can lead to future streams. Our research shows those actions correlate with 2.5 streaming increase of an artist 6 months or later. Thoughts, ideas? Yeah. Yo, Lex, you still on the phone? Yeah. Oh, okay. Spotify's on a roll. More heat on Live Nation, everybody. The company faces investigation from former Louisiana Attorney General. Live Nation is under fire with the former Attorney General of Louisiana. Well, who gives a shit? He's the former Attorney General. Apparently, his law firm is investigating the company and certain executives over allegedly false or misleading statements about Live Nation's business operations. Wow. Think of, like, if you're a band at home, think if you were, like, involved in so much suspicious activity that you were in court a quarter amount, or being investigated half the amount of time that these companies are being investigated. I wonder if there's like a certain amount of money that you make, you know, in your neighborhood where they're just like, you're under investigation. You know, you're like, am I under investigation? Yes, you're under investigation. Why? Well, because you made $1 million. We investigate everybody that's made $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, is there a certain amount of money where people are just like, you know what? This motherfucker hits 120, he's under investigation from here on out. Former Attorney General Louisiana Charles Dipshit announces that the law firm of Kahn, Swick, and Fody, of which he is a partner, has opened an investigation into Live Nation Entertainment. And it focuses on whether Live Nation's officers or directors breached their fiduciary duties to its shareholders or otherwise violated state or federal laws. Meaning they're just looking for anything to snitch on them for. Somebody hired them and they're mad as shit. A securities class action lawsuit was filed against Live Nation and certain executives in August of 2023, alleging that the defendants made materially false and or misleading statements, as well as failed to disclose material adverse facts about the company's business operations and prospects. Basically, they call them a bunch of lying, cheating motherfuckers. Namely, the lawsuit asserts that Live Nation failed to disclose its anti-competitive conduct, including charging high fees and extended contracts with talent, as well as retaliating against venues. That's why I pulled this out. They're claiming that Live Nation failed to disclose. They're saying that Live Nation failed to disclose its anti-competitive conduct, citing that they were aggressive by charging really high fees and extended contracts with the talent, as well as retaliating against the venues. They're claiming that Live Nation retaliates against venues that disagree with them. As a result, the company was reasonably likely to incur regulatory scrutiny and faced fines and penalties. The court presiding over that case denied Live Nation's motion to dismiss, allowing the case to move forward. So Live Nation was like, listen, we don't want to talk about this stuff. Can we dismiss this, please? And the judge was like, man, fuck that. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Motion denied, motherfucker. KSF serves as one of the nation's premier boutique security litigation law firms and serves a variety of clients, including public, institutional investigators, hedge funds, money managers, and retail investors in seeking recoveries for investment losses from corporate fraud or malfeasance by public traded companies. What the fuck does that word mean? Malfeasance. Somebody look that up. I don't have my phone. Now I feel really lost because I don't know what that means. But what I can say for sure is that KSF is a company that wants their bread. So somebody hired KSF, and they serve as one of the nation's premier and boutique security litigation law firms, meaning somebody that puts some bread, somebody who's partnered up, somebody who has their business. They have made it their business to hold Live Nation accountable and get down to the common denominator of how they've been conducting business in secret. Lexi, how did it go?
My phone is turned back on.
Okay.
They said that issue is never going to happen again.
Can they refund you the money that
They did. They refunded me the money.
I was gonna come in there like an angry father. I was gonna go in there like.
We put in a new application.
You want me to beat anybody up?
Not at this time, but I really appreciate you asking.
I've been known to handle a few cell phone retailers in my day. I'm getting old, but trust me, I still got it.
Fuck yeah, I know you still got it. I know for sure.
Oh, I got this shit. You watch me I get sturdy.
Yeah.
I dance. I do
Every day.
guitar flips.
Yeah. They don't know.
They don't know.
They know the conversation now. They know the secrets now.
I'm telling you.
Right. But yeah, so everything's fine. My phone's back on. It works like a normal phone now. I just gotta re-put in an application for the new phone,
And then confirm.
Yeah, and then confirm.
And then we don't need to call Walter or whatever his name is there. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
So isn't that great? It all got solved.
It did. It did. You want some of this?
I do. I'd appreciate it. How's the people today?
Yo, it's a quiet stream. Christina came through and said hi. Trisha's with me. Hans is with me. I don't know who's out there. I'm just talking. That's what I do. I just talk. I've got these articles here so I make more sense. And that's how we do it. Hey, thank you so much, William, for having a great name. You have a great name. What? He has a good name.
I just love how calmly you say, like, you have a great name.
Well done. Tell your parents I said thank you. I appreciate your existence. Hans wants to know. Do you guys want to say anything to me? Because I'm probably going to go pretty soon. But do you guys want to say anything to me? Tell me something you've always wanted to tell me. What new phone does Lexi have?
I'm getting the iPhone 12.
She's getting the iPhone 12, but they've installed Roman AI agents on her phone. She has the new Apollo. It's a dual-core processor. It's called the Apollo Sun. It only comes on the new one coming out. Do you believe me? Bernie and Phil, quality, comfort, and price. That's nice.
Dual processor. One's called Apollo.
It's a right.
Called Constantine.
Right. Yeah. So if you want to get the pro version, it's the Constantine. That's what I'm saying.
With that one.
Right. The operating system is Jerusalem 2. Jerusalem 2.0. Yeah. Me and Lexi's humor is borderline dumb.
At this time, it's great.
We're not right. We're usually not smart till like
3 joints.
3 joints, 3 p.m. This is real rock and roll shit. The thing about this channel is that we're actually a rock and roll band. We're one of the last modern rock and roll bands that are actually a rock and roll band. Meaning, right, like we tell the music industry to go fuck themselves and shit like that. There's not too many more of those. Right. We actually might break something in the hotel. Like Lexi breaks stuff all the time. Computers, laptops, phones, bones. Beans, tomatoes, potatoes, chicken. That just comes to mind.
I was gonna say the only thing I haven't broken yet, actually.
Yeah,
I did hockey puck cookies, so I did
Oh,
break food.
I almost broke something. I almost broke that. I have a fake tooth right here. And Lexi almost broke it because she made these cookies. And I was like, yo, this lady almost broke my tooth. It was the hardest cookie. And like Lexi makes like decent cookies, but we usually like Melissa does the baking in the band.
She does the best ones for that.
Melissa does. So,
Have her cookie.
oh, thank you, Trisha. Trisha said it means wrongdoing. Why the fuck didn't they just say that? Of course it means wrongdoing. Let's do one more story.
Yeah.
Let's do one more. Why don't we have AI-powered robots, and why aren't they our butlers yet? Why artificial intelligent-powered robot butlers and the subsequent robot uprising are at least a century away. We're 100 years away from fucking robots. Sorry about the bad news, Hans. I know a lot of you guys out there have been like, yeah, I know we're this close, man, to fucking a robot. The kids are like, I know we're this close to getting rid of our parents. The wives are like, I know we're this close to getting rid of our husbands. Yo, why do you guys want to fuck robots so bad? I'm not mad at you that you want to fuck robots. I know that people are horny. I just want to know, what makes you horny about robots? Go. What makes you horny about robots? I want to know. I want you to, please tell me your top 3 AI music artists. Go. Like, go. Tell me, what are they? Tell me the best. Tell me your top AI song right now. What is it? It doesn't exist. Give me your top AI actor right now. Who's your favorite artificial artist right now? I'm going to tell you who your favorite artificial artist has been for the last 30 years. The Gorillaz. Metalocalypse. The Muppets. Who the fuck ever? Jem. Do you guys know anything about Jem? Of course you don't. Because you've been living under a fucking rock. Look, artificial musicians have been around forever. Like Chuck E. Cheese fucking animatronics. You think those are fucking real? No, they're fucking robots. Like, that's what they do. You got a robot in your pocket. It's your robot mom. Tells you all kinds of shit. When to brush your fucking teeth. What the weather's going to be. I mean, do we even listen to music anymore? I think our phones listen to music for us. Like, we don't even listen to this shit. So the robots make the music, and we used to listen to the music. Like, who cares if the robot makes the music? Now the robot listens to the music. People don't even want to listen to the robot music. Now the robots listen to the music. Now we need to make another robot to listen to the robots make the fucking music. Whoa, what the fuck? Do you think robots want to listen to people music? Of course they do. Robots love people music. But people don't like robot music. What the fuck? I feel like we're just making robots to fuck them and fight them.
No, I think we want to make robots because we want to live in the fantasy.
I think we want to make robots because we can't enslave African Americans anymore. I keep it real. I think we want to make robots because we can't tell our sons and daughters how to find, how to discover, how to unpack education, how to find culture. I think that's why we want to make robots. I think we want to make robots because we can't tell our wives and girlfriends the truth.
We need a robot to tell us.
Right. I think we want to build robots because our friends don't like our music, and now we need the robots to tell us that we're popular and that they likes our music. The robots will listen and upload the worst fucking sounding music every single day and give you numbers and stars and tell you you're doing good. People aren't going to do that. I think we want robots because guys want to make it easier to cheat on their wives and their taxes. That's why I think we want robots. Slaves. Right, so we could be lazy and have slaves. Why else do we really want robots? We like shopping so much, but we don't have time to shop. But shopping's so fun. Being an expert shopper is so American that we have to actually buy robots to shop for us and optimize our shopping. Isn't that the fun of shopping? It's like getting better at it. You go buy some shit you don't want, you're mad as fuck, stub your toe, go back to this fucking store. I haven't even gotten into this article. Like, look at this. We can't even get into it. Here we go. And listen, I don't care. I'm not going to live for another 100 years. I'm just telling you. Like, you think I care? I'm in my 40s. I don't give a fuck. I'm never going to fuck a robot. I'm just making fun of you guys that want to. I don't want to fuck robots. In a very telling interview at Davos earlier this year, Bill Gates spelled out who AI is meant to help. And he says, it's so dramatic how it improves white-collar productivity. And later, with robotics, not yet, but eventually blue-collar productivity, Gates told Bloomberg. AI that can make you 100 times faster at writing emails? Your wish is big tech's command. AI that can build an entire car? Hold that thought. They're working on it. But if you're like most people, meaning nothing like Bill Gates, the biggest productivity suck of all is your endless list of chores. And in regard, AI is decidedly not coming to rescue you motherfuckers anytime soon. Even if the business world is hyping up all this AI and robotics and cyborg hand jobs, it's going to be hundreds of years before that is a reality. Even if the business world is hyping up humanoid robots like crazy right now, it is not coming to rescue you anytime soon. Do you understand me? For instance, a startup called Figure released a demo the other day of what seems like a humanoid robot of your dreams. When asked for something to eat, it hands the user an apple, and it uses integrated OpenAI large language models to explain why it made that decision, while it puts some in a trash bin, then it puts some dishes away. You know, like a fucking 2-year-old could do. Something like that. A 4-year-old. Apple? So, I mean, just think about it. Like, that's where robotics are at now, you know? Like a paralyzed 3-year-old. Apple? Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, man, that's a nice fucking robot you got there. What does it do? I don't know. It stares off into the distance and throws away apples. All right, can you get it out of the foyer? It's taking up space. Figure's concept robot, it makes for an impressive demo, But unless the company has some truly unique engineering going on behind the scenes, it's probably just a demo. The robot doesn't talk and sticks to narrow and tightly scripted routine. This might be the mechanical chosen one, but it's probably not, you guys. Decades of demos like this have come and gone. We've seen robots like this for years, and we still don't have robots in our homes that actually pick up trash and do the dishes. Like that, it's just not going to happen anytime soon. This notion has existed since the concept of robots as an idea by 1920 Czech play RUR, Rossum's Universal Robots, which coined the term robot in the first place. I didn't know that. 1920, a Czech play, like in theater, Rossum's Universal Robots, it coined the term robot in the first place. RUR's robots were humanoid figures, aka androids, meant to toil away while their human overlords just chillaxed. But even though technology has accelerated to the point where we now have machines that can respond to simple written prompts with vibrant, moving images of, say, fictional humanoid robots or any other fantasy scenarios we care to conjure, physical robots only seem to bring joy to real-world humans if the human in question is named like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or some other super billionaire. Meanwhile, for average individuals and people like you and me, for now, in the modern day, robots are mostly objects of frustration, if not outright fear. It's going to be a long time that we see any Hollywood-style sci-fi robots in your home that do your laundry. That may be good news or bad news. For a literal robot servant to act in your house as a butler, it's begun to feel like that century-old idea needs an additional century to percolate down. That's like coffee, percolate down from concept to consumer. To the world's estimated 10,000 actual human butlers, that must feel like good news, though. AI automation seems to be jeopardizing a lot of gigs right now. So who wants to co-sign yet another category of flesh and blood people to the dustbin of permanent unemployment? At the risk of splitting hairs, though, that's just not what we're talking about when we talk about the conspicuous absence of robot butlers. The world has about 8 billion people, most of whom are plagued by chore loads that seem to only ever grow and never get finished. If they were actually useful, robot butlers would be chore-killing appliances rather than snooty status symbols. I'm pretty confident the remaining butlers in the world, real butlers, human butlers, they're highly skilled managers of large estates which freshly polished rifle is for pheasants and which one is for foxes, would get to keep their weird antique jobs. And if Apple really did start manufacturing iGeeves, I think that that's funny. They're basically saying that even if you had robots in the home, like, you know what I mean, it would be pretty hard to replace a human butler that knew which rifle was for pheasants and which ones were for foxes. You get it? That's kind of a nice thing. Ideally, then, the robot butler revolution wouldn't be an example of automation wrecking our lives. It could instead be a true example of progress, technology for the people. And yet, there's no sign of that anywhere. Let's keep it real, y'all. It just looks like it's going to be a very long time before we actually see these things in our homes. While many have seen plenty of footage from Boston Dynamic robots, I know you guys have seen those viral videos online, such as the humanoid prototype, at last performing tasks with eerie precision. That's just because you're seeing the product of hours of rehearsal in which the robot botched something basic countless times before finally getting it right with a single time while the camera was rolling. I can think of this a lot by shitty guitar videos that I've done in the past, of like me trying to do something cool and me being like, why don't I just practice this for a few weeks until I can do it comfortably rather than trying to shoot it 100 times. Why don't I just do the work, you know? Boston Dynamics doesn't hide this fact, by the way, but its videos of clumsy robots don't go viral because they don't prompt thousands of social media posts all making the same "we're gonna die" joke. That's so real, bro. Oh my God, that's so funny. In short, even as we begin to imagine and struggle to clearly define general and authentic artificial intelligence, any artificial intelligence that wants to be embodied in the physical world will still need to share the actual environments we humans inhabit, which include irregular and diverse surfaces and objects, occasional wetness, things with unevenly dispersed holes and protrusions in them, softness, squishiness, roughness and mushiness, lumpiness and breakability, and crumbliness. This is good for anyone who worries about artificial intelligence apocalypse. But that's also bad for anyone worried about remembering to put laundry in the dryer while a toddler has a tantrum. As things stand today, the helpers and the herders will instantly be defeated by banana peels. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have on that. Yo, comment of the day, Trish. Oh my God, artificial politicians seem to exist already. Very good, very good, very good. Me personally, I'm not on any sides. I'm on your side. You guys have a great week.